Hello, folks. I have news for you from the Niles Weekly Register. Baltimore, Saturday, October 29th, 1814. Let's see what the news has to say about Captain Johnston Blakeley of the USS Wasp. This paper is from the 1800s, so I'm going to try my best to read it, okay, folks? Cruise of the Wasp. Copy of a letter from Captain Johnston Blakeley to the Secretary of the Navy. Sir, on Tuesday the 28th, being at latitude 4836 north in longitude, there you go, 1115 west, we fell in with engaged in after an action of 19 minutes captured the Britannic Majesty's sloop of war, the Reindeer. William Manners, commander. Annexed are the minutes of our proceedings on that day prior to and during the continuance of the action. Where all did their duty, each appeared anxious to excel. It is very difficult to discriminate. It is, however, only rendering them their merit due when it declared of Lieutenants Riley and Burley, first and third of this vessel, and whose names will be among those of the conquerors of the Guerriere and the Java. So Lieutenants Riley and Burley, they were on the USS Constitution when that ship defeated the Guerriere and the Java. The Constitution was under Captain Isaac Hall when they defeated the HMS Guerriere, and then the Constitution was transferred over to Captain William Bainbridge, and they defeated the Java, the HMS Java. Let me see, where was I? And Mr. Telegas, second lieutenant, who was greatly instrumental in the capture of the Boxer, that their conduct encouraged of this occasion fulfilled the highest expectation and gratified every wish. Mr. Telegas, who is the second lieutenant on the USS Wasp right here, he was on the USS Enterprise, which was under Captain, what's his name? William Burroughs. And the USS Enterprise engaged with HMS Boxer up along the Maine coast, and unfortunately, both captains, William Burroughs and Captain Samuel Blythe, tragically died in that action, that battle. William Burroughs died afterwards. They both died during, but Captain Samuel Blythe was the first one to die, and William Burroughs followed shortly after, like right after his ship was victorious at USS Enterprise. Sailing Master Carr is also entitled to great credit for the zeal and ability with which he discharged his various duties. The cool and patient conduct of every officer and man, while exposed to the fire of the shifting gun of the enemy and without an opportunity of returning it, could only be equaled by the animation and the ardor exhibited when actually engaged, or by the promptitude and firmness with which every attempt of the enemy to board was met and successfully repelled. Such conduct may be seen, but cannot well be described. The Reindeer mounted 16 24-pound carronades, 2 long 6 or 9-pounders, and a shifting 12-pound carronade, with the complement on board of 118 men. Her crew were said to be the pride of Plymouth. Our loss in men have been severe, owing to part to the proximity of the two vessels and the extreme smoothness of the sea, but chiefly in repelling boarders. That of the enemy, however, was infinitely more so, as will be seen by the list of killed and wounded on both sides. 6 round shot struck our hull, and many grape which did not penetrate far. The foremast received a 24-pound shot, which passed through its center in our rigging, and sails were good deal injured. The Reindeer was literally cut to pieces in a line with her ports, her upworks boats, and spare spars were one complete wreck. A breeze springing up next afternoon, her foremast went by the board. Having received all the prisoners on board, which, from the number of wounded, occupied much time. Together with their baggage, the reindeer was, on the evening of the 29th, set on fire and in a few hours blew up. I have the honor to be very respectfully your most obedient servant, Johnston Blakeley. There is also another letter from Captain Blakeley to the Secretary of the Navy. And this is when he is at Lorient Port in France. Am I saying it right? I'm not sure. But anyways, July 8th, 1814. Sir, I have the honor to announce to you the arrival of the ship today at this place by the pilot who carried us out of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I have the satisfaction to make you acquainted, acquaint, yeah, acquainted, I guess, with our having left that place, and again had the pleasure of dressing you by the French national brig Olive, in which was the first vessel we had spoken since our departure from the United States. From the time of our sailing, I continued to follow the route pointed out in your instructions until our arrival at this place, during which we have been so fortunate as to make several captures, a list of which will accompany this. These, with their cargoes, were wholly destroyed with one exception. This was the gallant Henrietta, which was permitted to return with the prisoners, 38 in number, after throwing overboard the greater part of her cargo, leaving only a sufficient to ballast her. When arrived on our cruising ground, I found it impossible to maintain anything like a station. It was led to chase further up the English Channel than was intended. After arriving on and surrounding, the number of the neutrals which are now passing us kept us almost constantly in pursuit. It gives me much pleasure to state to you the very healthy condition of the crew of the Wasp during their cruise. Sometime without one of the sick list, and at no time any who remained there more than a few days. Great praise is done to Dr. Clark for his skill and attention at all times, but particularly after the action with the reindeer. His unwearied assiduity to the necessities of the wounded was highly conspicuous. The ship is at present under quarantine, but we expect to be released from it tomorrow, when the wounded will be sent to the hospital and every exertion made to prepare the Wasp for sea. I have the honor to be very respectfully your most obedient servant, Johnston Blakeley. So I have a biography about Johnston Blakeley right here, and this is a very excellent read because I'm impressed with how much research the author of this biography put into this little known captain from the War of 1812.